you want to introduce each other?
This is
a civilian.
This is
I'm Ali and I play George Kareem.
I did like a Zoom audition.
Yeah.
So I did like a self-tape. And I had such bad internet connection.
If you've seen Lockwood and Co, you know that this show is surrounded by the idea of changing the course of history based on these group of teenagers that get introduced to this sudden mystery.
You go in, you don't realise that you're on a set, it's just like a real house, which is what it's supposed to be.
We're at the top of the Tate, as you can see. We're at Fairfax's offices.
The swordplay that we're using comes from a fencing background, so all of the moves that you see are actual fencing techniques.
Now, we have covered this topic before in the past about the bloopers and funny moments regarding the interview moments, which were actually pretty interesting, and we got to see how the cast grew together in this show. Today we wanted to talk about the behind the scenes moments of the show and see exactly how they put it together.
If we just sort of, if we have a really good connection between me and him, and Lucy is an important character, but, you know.
Finding new young talent. We always thought that we would probably go through a kind of similar way of working, which is essentially we ended up seeing kind of over 1,000 young people.
I think the best part about how this show started was the creator, Joe Cornish, was recommended to read the original books by a friend. And when you think about it, if he hadn't read them, this show and this cast would have never gotten the recognition that it does today.
I was recommended the Lockwood and Co books by a friend. Said they were fantastic, said they were up my street, so I read them and immediately fell in love with them.
Look who it is. Hello. Quill Kipps.
This is Jack Van Duren, he's playing Quill Kipps, yeah.
Quill.
Quill
Kipps.
But before we get any further, some trivia for you. Joe Cornish actually makes a cameo in the series, but who does he play? Leave your answers in the comments down below and stick around to the end of the video to find out if your answer was correct.
There's a lot of stunts on this show, and the brilliant Dave Foreman with his stunt team are just incredible. It was a bit mad. They were like, right, we're going to put you on wires and you're going to jump off this platform. And me and Cameron were like, okay, let's do it. Like.
Ali Hadji-Heshmati revealed in an interview that what terrified him the most on set and sets the scene, giving us a little background.
Sure, there was a scene with monks where they had hired dancers who were doing this dance. Yeah. And there was atmospheric music and it was in this kind of abandoned barn. And I was terrified, genuinely. And I said in the press interview that I thought these guys were, but apparently they weren't. And
it was spooky, yeah. It was spooky.
But real quick, make sure you guys check out our Instagram page, linked down in the description. There's a ton of interview moments and memes, so make sure you check it out and give us a follow.
And I kept like cutting out, and Joe goes, okay, we've done it. And I went, there's one more scene. And he's like, no, we're done. And I was like, oh my God, no. Swords and like hit workouts. Yeah, we were getting ripped.
I didn't have to do any of those because I was already in, what did they say? I was in immaculate shape, I think they said.
And for some of the cast members, Cameron, who plays Lockwood, this was actually his first audition as an actor. As for Ruby, who plays Lucy, Cornish recognized her from her previous project and casted her immediately.
Ruby was the first person we cast. She had a part in Bridgerton. She was in a movie called Rocks that I'd seen, so I recognized her. One of the fun things for me about any good adventure is the kit, and Lockwood and Co is full of really cool kit.
This is my belt. This is what I use to hold my rapier. A thermometer. It's my torch.
Hadji-Heshmati had to perform one of George Kareem's most emotional scenes with his first week of filming Lockwood and Co. Having starred in just a few shows beforehand, the actor was tied to a chair and tearfully poured his heart out.
Keep it down, Kipps. This is a library, not a braying gallery for bellends. When I first met Joe, it was kind of surreal, but Joe is probably one of my favourite people to have in an audition because he's so funny.
Philip, our sword master, he basically went through mini choreographies with us.
I remember that was actually my first week of filming, he recalled, and I found it really challenging at first, but looking around me, there was such a great crew.
Not to sound like cheese or cringy, but we're all really good friends in real life and we all get on really well with each other. And you could feel that like in the room.
Then there was a movement coach, Jen, who's been amazing and trying to find a style of fighting for Lockwood that suits his character.
There was even talks about a possible movie about all of this, and I think because there are 6 books in the franchise, it's too little time to squeeze in all the information. So it was best that the series was made, instead of a film.
King Sean Matheson is VFX supervisor.
Sean's shown us a lot of stuff. Yeah, he's brilliant.
It's a show about ghosts. So visual effects is such a big part.
Oh, that is so good.
That is brilliant.
That's so good. I haven't got a chance. Kind of look like a baked potato.
Joe Cornish also elaborates on how long it took to film this series and what went into it.
And this is a very different proposition. It's 8 episodes, so it was like, was it a year, like a year and a half, like including rehearsal? It's a huge weight to bear for these guys.
And Cameron talks about the VFX surrounding the ghosts and what was going through their minds while shooting for a scene like that where they had to react to something that wasn't there. And the way they did it was pretty interesting.
Sort of be able to use our imagination, which is almost more fun. But there was the Shmoo.
Yeah.
Shmoo.
The legendary Shmoo, which is an LED mannequin that was sort of puppeteered by Mikey, who was amazingly talented.
Yeah.
We also wanted to give a shout out to our Marvel Monday winner. If you guys didn't know, we ask a challenging Marvel related trivia question over on our community tab. If you answer it correctly, you get a chance to have your answer featured here in one of our videos.
Marcus Rowland, the production designer, all sort of like this idea that ghosts could be anywhere from the person they were the moment before they died.
Cameron came in quite late in the day, and we were very relieved.
He saved the day.
Lockwood and Co was my first audition as an actor. When I first came down to set, to rehearsals, it all felt so surreal.
Since the ending of the show, there are still questions to be answered like what's behind the door and does Kipps stand a chance in getting Lucy's heart? So it seems like if there isn't a season 2, fans are more than likely to raid as there are more questions that need to be answered.
To where they currently existed in their state of decay. They could live anywhere in that timeline, and we'd use that as a slider to recreate our beautiful imagery and our creepy imagery.
With this global release on January 27th, this supernatural action adventure will have you on the edge of your seat. Cameron's impressive background in theatre, having honed his skills at the prestigious Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, has prepared him for this exciting role in Lockwood and Co.
It's a very dark and intriguing story, very compelling.
This particular world is just so well written and distinctly British.
We've worked with Joe for a really long time, so we know his taste pretty well. We've worked with him on tons of stuff.
During an interview, he discusses his time filming for the show, being as how it is now, how he's got his foot in the door as far as acting goes.
Marcus Rowland and his team have just created something really extraordinary here.
You have to lean in and look and see the places where we've edited the contemporary world to make it the world of Lockwood and Co. That's great. Ali, Hadji-Heshmati.
Do you know what? It's Franklin.
Is it Franklin?
How was the filming experience? The interviewer asked. To which Cameron said, the cast and crew worked really hard to try and create something the fans will love and people can find enjoyment from. There were wet and muddy night shoots, hot and sweaty studio days, and a lot of Java cakes. I wouldn't change it for the world.
There's interactive lights so that the light of the ghost spills onto the walls, onto your faces. Yeah. Then we take away the shmoo, replace it with the digital ghost. Now the digital ghost is made up of the light from the shmoo, then Christine, the performer.
And we have talked about a possible season 2 of the show, as there are a total of 6 books from 2013 to 2017. And this first season is based on only the first 2.
What Cameron had was he was absolutely brilliant at the scenes, but you felt there was something inside he wasn't quite letting you see. A confidence, but a quietness and a sense of reserve and precision.
As far as what we know of a very possible season 2, even though Netflix hasn't announced anything quite yet, Joe himself has said that there is more planned.
We all just fell in love with him and we wanted to give him a big hug and tell him not to worry. And you know, if you feel like that in the audition process, then it's a good bet that the audience will feel similarly affectionate.
Lockwood & Co. debuted in a decent number 2 at the top 10 list, but it never reached number 1 and is already starting to fall fast, going to the number 5 spot just after a week of releasing.
Each other in real life. Who would be the messiest, the party animal, and the sensible mum of the group?
I am definitely the sensible mum of the group. 100%.
I think you'd be the messiest.
Yeah, really.
I would be.
Yeah, and Ali's the party animal.
So this could be read as a red flag to Netflix saying that the show will not last and will not be worth streaming or making another season out of.
You spend so much time together. It sort of becomes your life. You become this mini family, this sort of island.
Yeah, I have a lot of love for Cameron and Ruby and all the people we've met as
Yeah.
well. I've had a lot of scenes with Louise Brealey, who's absolutely amazing.
Even though it's very possible that they could cancel the entire show, we're just going to have to stick around and keep an eye out for what the next thing could be. My best guess is since this season was based on 2 of the books, there might be 2 more seasons if 8 episodes consist of 2 books.
Bea Vernon and Ned Shaw. Here they are.
Just looking around.
Very
Legends.
lucky.
Legends. Legends. All of them.
Very proud of our young team. They haven't stopped smiling and they've always got a giggle in them.
Yeah, they're so great.
And as far as the answer to our trivia question, not only is Cornish behind the camera and creative team, he also makes the briefest of cameos in episode 1, This Will Be Us. When Lucy is forced out of her hometown agency, Cornish is the hooded man who removes the plaque with her name on it from the town Century Plinth.
But that one we didn't get to do. Instead, the characters come in and sort of talk about it. And you know, it would be lovely to have been maybe a 20 episode series with 20 million per episode. Then we could have done all of that stuff, right?
So what do you guys think about all this? And what do you think was the best part of the show? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe with notifications on for more videos just like this. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye guys.